I'm thinking of swatching the Supergranulation Tundra set today. The Tundra set is very popular and I'm going to experience it for the first time. So join me today because the session may be helpful if you're thinking about purchasing these. So today I'm going to be swatching the Tundra set from the Schmincke Supergranulation series. And this set consists of a Tundra Orange, a Tundra Pink, a Tundra Violet, Tundra Green, and Tundra Blue. So let's see what we find out. So the first color is the Tundra Orange. Trying to get a mask on here. Undertone. Let me try and get the darkest line here. So I'm getting some right out of the tube. So that's the mask tone for you. So the pigments are PR233, which I think is Potter's Pink, PBR7, which is Raw Sienna, and PY43, which is Yellow Ochre. So let's see how it dries out. I don't want to give my opinion just right away. The second color is the Tundra Pink. The pigments are PR233, which is Potter's Pink, and PB29, which is Ultramarine Blue. So here's Tundra Pink. I'll paint, dip in water, and then let's go for the undertone. It almost feels like a violet to my eyes, and which is not a surprise because it's Potter's Pink and Ultramarine Blue, so that's very expected. And it's a beautiful violet, a very dusty, understated violet. So far it's looking good. So the next one is the Tundra Violet. So I know we swatched out Tundra Pink, which looks like a violet, but there is a Tundra Violet. So let's see how does that look on the paper. The pigments are PB29, which is Ultramarine Blue, and PBR6, which is Mars Brown. So it's a blue and a brown. So I'm trying to get a mask tone here. Looks very intense on the palette. Almost a black. Dip in water. Let's get the undertone here. Beautiful. So this violet almost looks like a black, but it's a brown and a blue. So I don't want to give my opinion as yet. Let's see what happens when it dries out. So I just wanted to show you the palette. I don't know if you can see in the camera, if you take a look at the Tundra Violet, the blue and the brown almost don't mix even on the palette. Although they were in the same tube, they are flowing and floating separate from each other, just like oil and water. So that's the interesting part. So I believe that's the reason why it gives you the surprises. So let's go and swatch out the Tundra Green. It has the PBR6, which is the Mars Brown, and PG19, which is Cobalt Green. So a brown and a green. Let's see what it does. Trying to get a mass tone. Very deep, intense, and almost opaque, you know, similar to the violet. Let's try and get some undertones here. I'll wait for it to dry out. And I'm loving how the violet is drying, and also love the pink. You can see the pigment separating on the paper and tinting different parts of it. And that's what makes it beautiful and unique. The last in the set is the Tundra Blue, which is PB29, ultramarine blue, and PBR7, which is raw sienna. So blue and a yellow or brown. Sienna can be somewhere in between. So this is the mass tone for you. Deep and intense. So far I can see only the blue, but I'd be really surprised if the second pigment does not show up. So I'm going to wait for them to dry and see you back in a few minutes. So these colors have dried out, and I wanted to share my initial impression about this set. Wow. I do not know if... So I have used both Primatech, few of the Primatech colors, and I have been swatching the Supergranulation colors from Schmincke for some time. If I were to talk about just the colors and how they perform on paper, I I know there are people who compare the two, but I don't think they're comparable. The one thing that strikes me about the supergranulation colors is although the pigments are mixed together in the same tube, but they rarely are like homogeneous mixes. They sort of like separate out, sometimes right on the palette and especially on paper, and then they kind of do their own thing and produce some interesting patterns. So if I wanted to just show you the palette here, I mean, if you were to take a look at the Tundra Violet and Tundra Green, which has the PBR6, just see how the PBR6 is just floating on the top and the other pigment is at the bottom. I mean, you can see the cobalt green at the bottom and you can here see the ultramarine blue at the bottom. So I do not know enough about the chemistry of these colors and how they make them do that. I know that when I mix two colors in my palette, I expect them to come together and give me a hue they produce when they mix. But seems like these pigments don't actually mix. They sort of still stay separated, and they produce these kind of interesting patterns. Like if you see it over here, like the brown has separated from the blue. If you look at the green, you see brown patches and the green patches. Similar thing is happening on the Tundra Pink as well, and somewhat in the orange and in the blue too. So that's the uniqueness of these supergranulation colors. And I'm not saying that you can take two separate pigments and produce this, but you know, this is what they offer. You know, you don't have to get the two pigments, and this is the behavior on the way they have ground them or mixed them, or I don't know how they have put them together. This is the effect that you will get on paper, and that's what is unique about it. So for whatever reason, if an artist is seeking that effect, then these offer you that kind of a drama. I especially like the green, the pink, and the violet. The orange and the blue, I would say in the Tundra set, are something that I have seen in the other supergranulation sets, the Shire and the Galaxy. They're kind of similar. But these three are sort of winning my heart here. As far as the quality of the pigments is concerned, Schmincke is top-notch, and you know, that's never an issue. You feel the pigment load, and you know, there is no question about the quality. Here I am just discussing the unique effect that the supergranulation series brings on the paper. So few of these are definitely going to appear in my paintings. I mean, I can definitely see a use case for the Tundra Pink and the Violet and even the Green. I am pretty sure I'm going to use these for certain projects. So I hope you found this session useful, and I hope this information would help you make some decisions, whether you want to own these or whether you want to use these in your projects as well.